Hello and welcome to PRTV Spurs Preview Show. Tottenham Hotspur versus Wolverhampton Wanderers. Tomorrow, 3 p.m. kickoff at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Let's get the show on the road, as they say. Hello and thank you for joining us, PRTV Spurs. As I've said before, if you all haven't already subscribed or followed the channel, just give it a smash. Come and follow us. PRTV Spurs is the place for all your Spurs previews, reaction shows, talking points, whatever you want to do. Tottenham Hotspur, come and join us because we are Tottenham. Right, so joining me to do the preview show is Mr. Sean Hurl from Paxton Road, PRTV Spurs. Good afternoon, Sean. First and foremost, hope you're feeling better. How's drinks?
Yeah, I'm fine. Looking forward to another unpredictable afternoon with Tottenham Hotspur Football Club.
Ooh, nothing changes that with Tottenham Hotspur Football Club, does it? Absolutely nothing changes. It's one of them where you give with one hand and you take away from the other hand. Postecoglou was given all the players to come and play at the weekend, and then yesterday 2 players were taken away again. So every game, somebody influential, intricate part of the puzzle are taken away from this squad. Are we actually going to see Postecoglou have a full 11 that he actually wants to start at some point? Because Bentancur came back, Maddison come back, Van der Ven's come back, all come back from injury. Son's come back from international duty. Basuma comes back, Sarr comes back, and now we've lost Destiny and Pedro Porro. So it's just not right, is it? It's the gods are not with Spurs, are they?
It's all over Twitter, mate, isn't it? It says we're Spurs, we're not allowed to have nice things. You know, for 10 weeks we were, or whatever it was, 10 matches, or we were top of the pile, and it's all been a bit sort of hit and miss ever since then. By and large we've picked up the points, but we've been hanging on. You know, we're like in the old Western, hanging on to that the wheels of the wagon or whatever, just to try and keep going. But
yeah, do you know what? You're right. We're not allowed to have good things. We're not allowed to have good things. However, every now and then, you know, we're allowed to have good things, like the PRTV Spurs people that come and watch us week in, week out, like David Clarkson, Juice Nuts, and everyone else. They like to have good things. And like today, last week, we was at Tottenham, didn't we? Me and you were on, Sean, and we had Sam taken away from us, sunbathing or whatever he was doing abroad.
Oh my God,
yeah, you know what I mean? But like all good things, we've got him back.
Holiday's come to an end and he's back to Blighty.
That's right. So he's come back to us. So you see, Paxton Road can have the good things. Isn't that right, Sam?
Yeah, that's right. I've been back a week now. I can't believe it's a week already. I came back last Thursday night. It's just gone. It's a blur. But it all means that you have to then prepare for the next one. And that's what I'm trying to do. Unlike some, we're not going to Turks and Caicos. So, do you know what I mean? We ain't got that liberty.
Not yet, mate. Not yet.
Exactly. Right. So
I might have to change this shirt. It's looking like it's a bit see-through, isn't it? With the green screen. What's it like?
Yeah. It's all right, man.
It's all right.
The tops of your shoulders are a bit.
Yeah, you're transparent.
Yeah. Right,
you're transparent.
I'll sort that out. 1 second.
Yeah.
Carry on. I'll be back.
No worries.
No panic, Mr. Mallory.
Good afternoon to David Clark. Thank you for joining us. Thank you also to everyone else who's joining us. We've got JJ in the house as well. Oi, oi, afternoon. Come on, you Spurs. So, Sean, David said, I told you we would go behind against Brighton and would come back to win. I only got the score wrong because both keepers excelled. So, narrow win. Some people say we probably should have just deserved the draw. Some say we didn't deserve to win. Some say we should have lost. I don't know. I don't care. At the end of the day, we had this discussion in the reaction show. I don't mind not playing well. And at the end of the day, if we're getting the 3 points in the 94th minute, then I'm more than happy to do that. It's been a week since then. We've seen the mood in the stadium, well, not in the stadium, in the training camp with the players and everything. They had that open session yesterday and everything was buzzing. Sonny seems to be back to his buzzing self as well. That's a good sign, isn't it? That's a great sign, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, just before I came on, they dropped an interview with Sonny, which looked like he was, really happy to be back. I've only caught the first couple of minutes of it, so I don't really know what detail it goes into, but it's on Spurs Play, I imagine. Yeah. And I'm sure we will, judging by the fact that that was a really nice thing Spurs did yesterday, that open training for the fans. Some of the reactions of the kids when they were given, signed boots and shirts and were lovely, and I think we are critical friends of this football club. We have our moans about them as well as, but when we do things like that, that was really heartening. The players seem generally happy with each other. Good to see each other now. And I don't think really there's any individual in the squad that I really, dislike, as a person. So yeah, all good. And let's carry this togetherness onto the field and play tomorrow at 3:00.
Absolutely. I was just saying, Sam, after last week's performance where we ended up getting the points over performance, we've had a whole week now of training. Obviously, we've had a couple of casualties. The mood seems to be very good. There's a lot of, on social media, there's a lot of tweets coming out from individual players. Dragusin's one, his mom said stuff. Timo Werner's interviews have come out and they're all very, very positive and everyone's in the mood. Dragusin's mom's turned around and said, yes, he's a young lad. He's coming to this team. Of course, he wants to start playing, but at the moment, he's growing up. He knows that he's in a very good club. Atmosphere is brilliant. He's just got to wait his turn, and I'm sure he'll get his turn. But you know what? He said he's got to earn it. So everything seems to be really positive.
Yeah, the positivity is good to see. I think you guys have already touched on it about the open training session. I've not watched all of it, but the fact that they've done one suggests to me that, I've not really seen a lot of open training sessions at Spurs. I know there's probably been a few, but as I said, this is kind of like good to see because, they're confident. They don't mind people having a bit of they're not going to do too much intricate stuff, but at least it gives the fans an opportunity to see these players in this environment from a training perspective. And that community side of things is very important. Going back to what some of the players are saying, well, that's good to hear. You don't want players moaning, not at this stage anyway. You don't want players moaning saying, I'm not getting a game, this, because everybody has to be on board if you're going to achieve what you're going to achieve. So that's good to hear as well. Whether that in reality is going to be the case for some players, I don't know, because football is one of them things where if you present one side, there's always going to be another side behind the closed doors. But I'm sure that Andrew's got everything managed. I guess we'll go on to talk about what we think the team's going to be, because I've got some interesting proposals for you.
Yeah, I think David's put a quote in there. David, we'll come to. I've seen yours. We'll come to that when we do the lineup and what I think. But we'll have a look at that. Right. So the Wanderers, they call them the Wanderers, are coming to Hotspur Stadium to hunt in packs and to try and get the 3 points off us tomorrow. We don't like the Foxes because they always give us a good game and they always end up beating us or getting a draw. So 19 times the Foxes and the Cockerel have met.
The Wolves. The Wolves, the Foxes of Leicester. I was going to say, don't keep saying Foxes. Leicester people, especially David Clark, will not be happy.
No, sorry. Yeah, I'm practicing for next season. The Wolves, right? 19 times. Tottenham have won 9. Wolves have won 7. Tottenham have won 4 at home. They've won 4 away from home. We've won 3 at their place. Sorry, they've won 3 at their place. We've won 5 away, and there's been 3 draws. This is the kind of game or the team I don't like playing, because they're like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get with Wolves, and they say always, unfortunately, we're the ones that are left with the coffee ones and the ones that nobody else likes, because they just come to us and just take the best bits out of it.
Hold on, speak for yourself. I love a coffee cream.
Oh, okay then. Okay, you are at the top. All right then. Whichever don't like.
Yeah, don't worry.
But what's your thoughts then, Sam? Starting with this one, this game tomorrow.
I think it's going to be a tricky affair. I really do. Not just because it's Wolves. Wolves have got good players, but they've also got what I consider to be a good young manager in Gary O'Neill. I think he's slowly climbing up that ranks of people that I want to slap in the face, just because I know that he's going to come and do a job against us. He's focused. He knows what he wants out of his team, and he seems to be able to get what he wants out of his team. That's the bigger thing. Even with injuries, even with suspensions, whatever. Now they've got a couple of players back. Neto's obviously playing again. They've got Wang come back from the Asian Cup. I know they've got a couple of injuries to some first teamers, but it doesn't matter. What have they really got to lose an away fixture against Tottenham, having already beaten us in the last minute at their place? They're going to come there. I think they're going to probably have a plan in terms of whether they're going to press quickly, at times drop off. It's going to be mixed up, and I don't think it's going to be a straightforward affair. So that home record, that away record, again, at this stage, to me, neither here nor there, because different managers, different times.
Of course. Sean?
Yeah, and actually, when you put those figures up, I was surprised that we won our home games as many as we have.
I know.
I've always known that we do better at their place. I remember going a few years back to see us win, and I think Lamela scored. He nutmegged the keeper to score. So, they're a tough opponent, but equally, they when they have an off day, they have an off day. They absolutely murdered Chelsea the other week.
Yeah. But
then the next game, I think they were against Brentford. Brentford absolutely dominated them. Brentford in many ways dominated us, but at least we knew what to do and put the ball in the back of the net.
Yeah,
and that's the difference. We're on a record-breaking run, 36 games.
I know,
36 league games, so we've scored in every game. So we do know that we've got a threat. We just have to make sure that it's that threat is kept up tomorrow. One goal is followed by 2, followed by 3.
Absolutely. David's just put me down. So yeah, thanks, David. Sorry, it's not a fox that belongs to Leicester. Wolves are out in the open and are easy targets. Foxes are cunning and use stealth. Let's just hope then Wolves are open tomorrow. Right, so that's that one. Moving on to
David obviously hasn't had a look out of the window over here where I see bunches of foxes playing on the piece of grass right by the railway here.
There you go then. 22nd of August 2021, Tottenham 1, Wolves 0 at the Molineux. 13th of February 2022, Wolves 2, Tottenham 0 at the Hotspur Stadium. 20th of August 2022, Spurs 1, Wolves 0 at Hotspur Stadium. 4th of March 2023, Wolves 1, Tottenham 0 at Molineux. And 11th of November 2023, obviously we all know this one, the injury time special, Spurs 1, Wolves 2 at the Molineux. So previous 5 meetings, lads, we've won 2, lost 3, which brings me on to my next one, which then we can talk about. Tottenham versus Wolves at Tottenham Stadium or White Hart Lane. 29th of December 2018, Spurs lost 3-1 to Wolves, Kane scoring. March 2020, Spurs lost 3-2, Bergwijn and Aurier, Doherty, Jota and Jimenez. 16th of May 2021, Spurs won 2-0, Kane and Højbjerg. 13th of February 2022, we lost 2-0, Jimenez and Dendoncker. And 20th of August 2022, Spurs 1-0, Harry Kane. So, guys, at home, last 5 meetings, we've won 2, lost 3. Like I said to you, they're one of them teams that I personally don't like playing against. What do you think of this one then, Sean?
Well, thankfully we won't have to face Jimenez, but judging by that, he's now at Fulham. But yeah,
or Jota. Don't forget, no Jota as well, because that's another one. He killed us.
Yeah. It's you know, they're a tough team, you know, and they're well prepared. It doesn't. I mean, they've obviously had changes of managers since then as well. And you know, I think as Sam has already alluded to, I think O'Neill is a great manager. You know, he was very unlucky to lose his job at Bournemouth. I just think the manager, the owners there just got new. They just wanted a new face, and they went for someone who I think will prove to be a good coach in the end. But O'Neill's obviously he's taken that hardship and you know worked his magic at Wolves, and you know we saw what they did to Chelsea at their place a few weeks back. So we better be prepared for it, and I'm sure we will. I mean, today will be team meeting, or tomorrow morning team meeting, and you know the key points will be hammered home.
Can I ask? Has a press conference come out yet? Is it later today?
I think it's later today.
Yeah, because I thought it was Thursday. I thought it was Thursday, but
it'll be 1 o'clock, so it'll be in about 12 minutes' time. It'll start.
Yeah, Sam, what do you think then? So we've obviously last 5 meetings we've won 2, lost 3, and then at home,
I've been a bit naive. I didn't realize that they had such a winning record against us.
Yes,
and now that might make a difference in terms of how I'm thinking, because if I was managing, I'd put this up. I'd show my players this. You know, what I was going to get back to is that the other problem we've got against Wolves, and Gary O'Neill in particular, is that he does get to raise his game and raise the players' games for bigger teams, as you just mentioned about Chelsea. I've seen him play some of the other teams this season and give them really good teams. Maybe it's the motivation factor when you come to play someone like that. It's not always there, but I guarantee you they will be motivated to play us come Saturday, come tomorrow. And 100% know that they're going to come with a game plan, and that's one of the things I'll be using. I'll be saying, look, lads, last 5 games we've got a better record than them at their own stadium. You know what I mean? And we probably haven't had the best team out in the world. This is an opportunity. So Spurs have got to have that same old factor. You score that first goal, it makes a whole difference. If they score, and Garrett, particularly with Garrett, it's going to be tough.
Okay.
Oh, is it stalling?
Yeah, yours was stalling then. Yeah, but you're back on. But we've got almost everything you were saying there. So if we look at the record at the moment, then the last 5 games, Spurs beat Bournemouth 3-1. They beat Everton 3-0. Spurs drew 2-2 with Man United. They drew 0-0 with Brighton. We beat Sheffield United 3-2. They lost 3-4 against Man United. We drew 2-2 with Everton. They got beat 4-2 by Chelsea. We beat Brighton 2-1. They lost to Brentford 2-0. So, guys, both teams have won 3 out of the last 5. We've drawn 2. They've lost 1, drawn 1. So, going into tomorrow's game, form wise, I know you were saying, Sean, that they got what do you call it? They beat Chelsea, packed Chelsea and that, but then they lost 4-3 to Man United. Going into tomorrow's game, then I think it's about.
Yeah, but they shouldn't have lost that game, Sid.
I know they shouldn't have.
The Man U game. I mean, Man U were so lucky. They're on a run. You know, United are on a run where they're picking up results when they don't deserve it. You know,
exactly.
This is why they're frustrating that they're so close behind us. You know, but
so in terms of last 5 games, I think it's about equal, and I think both teams will be confident. We're at home, which is the most important thing, but they've got quite a decent record at home, haven't they? So what do you make of that, Sam? Does the last 5 games mean anything?
Yeah, I think at this stage of the season, the games do matter, but results matter more. So obviously, from our perspective, the last 5 results we've picked up 2 draws and 3 wins, so we're unbeaten. Problem that I see though is in every single one of those games we've conceded goals, and we probably deserve to concede at least 1 in all of those games. Yeah. And most of them we've conceded 2. And that's my issue. You know, we cannot keep relying on having to outscore teams 3-2s and 2-1s, and that. We have to start keeping clean sheets. You keep a clean sheet tomorrow, we will score a goal to win and beat them. So whether that's a 1 or 2, but if we don't keep a clean sheet, and I don't think we will, to be honest.
No.
Going forward, that's going to be where the pressure's heaped on the players, because you're relying on your defenders then to say, okay, we can't keep clean sheets. Then your forwards are going to have to score. Son's only just back. Brennan Johnson, Timo Werner, jury's out still on them for me. Kulishevsky's not having his best season in the world. We haven't got a lot to rely on. Richarlison and Son are 2 at the moment, and we know Richarlison could go off. You know what I mean? It could be like he's on his vein of form and then could drop off. I hope, and I don't think that's the case now, but we can't rely on Son. We just cannot rely on one person to be putting this role in the back. So I'm hoping that we can start keeping more clean sheets. So that's what I'm going to talk about in terms of the team when we get to that.
Yeah. Sean, going into tomorrow's game, like I said, they're about same on par in terms of last 5 games. We should be still slightly favourites being at home, right?
Yeah, home advantage should make a difference. I mean, Ange doesn't lose too many games at home. Historically, obviously he's had some setbacks this year, but I hope that we use our home advantage. I hope that the fans are behind the team. I did notice that lots of comments during the week that people left early last week. Before we got the winner, basically, which wasn't well, fair enough. But there were from what I count, there were significant numbers, not just you yourself said. And that's not good, because we were sticking with the team through thick and thin earlier on in the season, and we were getting our rewards. And those that missed out on the winning goal, well, hell mend you, because that's not backing the team. I mean, it's not like we were 4-0 down at half time, and you might understand why you might want to leave. But it's we're supporters and we're supposed to back the team, and I just wish we maintain our standards from earlier in the season. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I mean, the reason I left was I left with 2. I left, and as soon as I left, Johnson scored the winner. So I left because I'm not going to lie, I just thought we weren't going to score because Brighton were playing well, and it was just one of them games where it sort of dittered out, and we thought, you know what, I think both teams are going to hang out for a draw, but it is what it is. First time I've left the ground and they've scored, so it is what it is.
It's wild. I mean? It's wild.
Lesson learned, Sid. Lesson learned.
Lesson learned. Yes, stay to the end, and again, obviously, you have to, but it is what it is, isn't it? All right. So season so far, lads, we are 4th. Wolves are 11. We've won 14. They have won 9. 5 draws apiece. We've lost 5. They've lost 10. Double. Average goals scored per match, 2.13 Tottenham, 1.54 to Wolves. Average goals conceded, 1.5 Tottenham, 1.63. Do you know what? This average goals conceded, I've not come across yet anywhere where anyone probably conceded less than us. I think everyone's on par or better than us. 5 clean sheets. They've kept 4. Average chances 2.21 to their 1.54. Interesting, the average goal scored is 1.54 and the average chances created is 1.54. How canny is that? Biggest win 5-2 Tottenham. Theirs is 4-1. Our biggest defeat is 4-1 and their biggest defeat is 4-1. Sam, anything sticks up there for you?
So as we get, as we've talked about, as you get deep into the season, the averages become more, I guess, plateaued over a period of time, so you can kind of see what the team's about. What that doesn't quite show is the difference between home and away, I guess, and that's probably where I think where we're going to have a little bit more positivity about it, because I would imagine that from a home perspective, we do have more opportunities to score, the crowd being the extra person, blah blah blah. But that also can fall into another trap where teams come there and park the bus. Now, do I think Gary O'Neill's going to come and park the bus? No, but I do think he's going to have a pretty much a game plan, fluid between both those, both pressing and both, dropping deep, both getting to the ball quickly, both, trying to get the ball forward directly, but also trying to play it. It's going to be so difficult to work them out. So, yeah, my concern is the goals conceded per match is the same on a par with bloody this lot. And they've lost more games than they've won. That's to me, we should be closer to the 1. They should be, and they are closer to 2, but we should be definitely closer to 1 than we are. We're right in the middle. And I think that's when you see our average goal scored per match is only 2.13. This is the fine margins. It could either go one or two ways. And sometimes, you want to have that, we're 2-0 up. That's it. Game's over. I never think it's like that with Spurs.
This is it, Sean. We've kept 5 clean sheets. They've kept 4 clean sheets. So as much as everyone keeps going on about we've got the best 4, 5 at the back, this, that, the other, we're still conceding. So even like the Wolves, I've only kept 1 less clean sheet than we have.
Yeah, it's annoying, isn't it? But I mean, I think the reason that our stats are so bad is that we're conceding so many chances. We're giving the ball away higher up the field than everyone else.
Yeah,
I think there's only 4 teams with a worse XG against. And I'm looking at the top 4 here. XG against for Liverpool is 30.16. For Man City is 22.29. For Arsenal is 21.37. So they're the best. And then it's us in 4th place with 43.93. So there it is in stats. Clear as day. We're giving away too many chances. We're conceding too many, and it was clear their goal the penalty arises out of a concession on the edge of our box.
Yeah. And
we're doing it all the time. And it's no wonder that it's been like that since the disruption to our team. I think we expected Bentancur to come back and just provide be the silver bullet or the magic bullet.
It hasn't happened.
No, it hasn't. And I think certainly when it comes to a team, I know who I want at my number 6 tomorrow.
Right. Well, saying that, then let's right. So everybody was fit. Everybody was fit. Everybody came back from injuries. Everyone come back from AFCONs. Everyone come back from Asian Cup. And then the training was happening yesterday. And then obviously no Pedro Porro. And you've been saying this for, Sean, you've been saying it for time that he needs a rest. He needs a rest. This is too much. And then lo and behold, Destiny Udogie and Pedro Porro didn't train yesterday with the first team. Everybody's now saying, oh, that's it. They're not playing tomorrow. I don't know whether it's a precaution, whether he didn't want them to train there. And maybe if they're going to train today, it will be interesting to see what he says in his press conference, if they're going to be available or whether they've trained today. So on that basis, obviously, team-wise, then this is what I'm saying. Purely because if you look at the videos as well on social media, especially on Tottenham's Twitter page, they were showing the drills and they were showing videos of a formation that they were using, and the formation that they were doing, and they were practicing it quite a lot, was Emerson Royal, Ben Davies, Van der Ven, and Romero. So I'm thinking on that basis yesterday, what we saw, I'm thinking that this is going to be the back five for tomorrow. Any objections, dads?
Objection, Your Honour.
Go on then.
Objection. This is what I'm talking about for me. If you
I've
take,
not got it on my screen. So.
Say again.
Yeah, there's nothing on screen at the moment, but it's fine. It's cool. I'm not. That's probably going to be likely to be the back five tomorrow with Davis and Royal. However, I feel there's an opportunity here to possibly see, and I know that we're not going to probably see it, is to maybe possibly try a back five. The reason why is because it would disrupt how Wolves are going to approach it, because they're always going to think we're going to play this back four. Now, if you play a back five with Romero at the centre, Dragerson on one side, Van der Ven on the other, you still have that attacking opportunity because Davis can do what he does, but also I don't think Raw's going to be as attacking as someone like possibly Dragerson would be, because I've seen what he did at, was it Genoa he was at? I've seen the way he was playing, and he has played right back as well. So that's a good setup on that side. Now, whether or not they've had time to practice that, he's a new player, I'm not quite sure. But these are we've been thrown into the deep end with other things. We've had to play Ben Davis and Raw at centre-back. Yeah. You can't play Porro or Doggy tomorrow. This is an opportunity for them to get 3 weeks of rest, because we're not playing for another 2 weeks after tomorrow. So I would take them having that week, last week, not play. That gives them 3 weeks to be recovered for the next game. If you play any one of them tomorrow, there is a high possibility that they could have an injury that's going to take them out longer than what they're actually going to be playing for. So it's a no-brainer for me. Don't play them. Try something different, and we could potentially see. But I think it's going to be what you put up, Sid.
Yeah, because David Clark's in here. Do you think Royal and Davis will play, or will Ange go free at the back with Basuma in the number 6 role? The other thing I can add to that, Sam, as well, is I think Emerson Royal will go up and down, because he's done it before. Not as potent as Pedro Porro will be, but I think he will give a lot of width on that side, and obviously depending on who plays, which I'll put what I think. Sean,
just quickly on the Royal thing. There's no problem with him getting up and down.
Yeah,
that's not the problem. It's what he gives you at the end of the up and down bit.
When
he's up, he doesn't give you what Porro gives you. He gives you a little bit more defensively, but I would hope that that's not what we want to be focusing on tomorrow. We have to focus on getting the goals. I've already kind of contradicted myself about, keeping clean sheets and all that, but I think we have to score. That's what we've been doing all season, so we have to continue in that vein. I'm not sure Raw gives you enough of that. I suppose you're right as well, but he has scored 1 or maybe 2.
Well, one caveat, the only time Royals played, he scored against Brentford.
Do you think he goes with that?
What I think is that this may actually, I don't know whether Sam will agree, this may actually give us the best of both worlds here, because if we focus on Royal being giving us the width on that side, it does allow the other 3 to become a back 3 at certain times.
Yeah.
And given that, Davis has played on the left of a back 3 for Wales internationally for years now, it might give us a bit more security in defence. I don't know. Well, it's just a suggestion. I'm not absolutely certain. But then I think Davis has got a good delivery. I mean, I seem to remember lots of crosses for his. Particularly when we had Kane. That he was a very good supplier of crosses to the back post. So I would imagine he's going to go with this, and he may well try to do a form of inverted fullback, but it won't be as slick as our first choices. Yeah.
And I think what you said, Sam, I think if they're both niggles or if they're both struggling, we've got, like you said, we've got a 2-week break. Just leave them out tomorrow. Let them have 2 weeks. Let them fully recover. Davis can do a job. We know he can. He's done it. Emerson Royal can do a job as well. And it's Wolves we're playing. All right, I'm not going to say it's only Wolves. It's Wolves that we can play. I think we can go into this game without both our fullbacks and have these 2 come in. And I'm confident and I'm happy that they'll do a job.
The other thing I wanted to add to that is there's a possibility that Dragerson could play instead of Raw as the right back, possibly. We're saying right and left back, and I know we've said this before. They're not actually playing in them areas all the time. Most of the time, they're playing infield. So you do want players that are more comfortable on the ball. I'm comfortable with Davis playing in that role.
Yeah.
Because he's more balanced in terms of attack and defense. I think he's got more attacking instincts about him than Raw has. Now, you're right. Raw does get up and down. But how many times have I seen him get to that get to the goal line and cross? I've seen Ben Davis do that a few times. I've seen Ben Davis get into really good positions in the box, flicking headers. I know that Raw scored his goal, but I don't know if that was more by luck as opposed to, him creating that opportunities, blah, blah, blah. I just think we are limiting ourselves when we have players who are not as comfortable with the football. Porro, Destiny, very comfortable with the football. So in my opinion, you have to put players into the position where they're comfortable, not so much because they're playing out of position, because remember, Davis and Raw played out of position supposedly for 5, 6, 7 games, whatever it was, when they played centre-back.
Yeah.
So I'm not having the excuse that these players can't do this. If that's what the manager sees and this is what he thinks is the best, I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
But I just think there's an opportunity to maybe get someone into that team that we haven't really seen, that we know can play in that position, and I think's better on the ball than Raw, even from what I've seen. Just from what I've seen with Dragonson, I think he'd make a great play in that position.
Yeah, but I don't think he will risk it. I don't think he'll try to do an experiment there when he's got a right back already in place, ready-made right back. All right, he's only played the first game of the season, like Sean said, and Leslie as well said. But we have got, somebody in the making. Let's see, here's one that we made earlier. And all I'm going to say is everybody get your phones ready tomorrow, because the show reel is going to be out at 4:45 when Emerson Royal has finished playing for Spurs, because the showboating and the show reels will be out. We've missed them.
Have you seen a comment there from Leslie Crawford at the bottom there regarding Porro?
Porro has played 38 games in the PL for Spurs, and we have conceded 60 goals. Wow.
Probably scored in most of those games. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But
I think we have.
It's not just down to Porro, though, is it? It's just down to the whole team.
Exactly. But stats like that, when you see it, you kind of think, oh, is he more attacking? It's not just Porro, but
yeah. Right. So midfielders, lads, and I'll turn to you in a minute, Sean, first. I've gone with Basuma. I'll tell you why in a minute. Saw and Mr. James Maddison. Bentancur is a bit of a worry for me at this precise moment, in the terms of he's come back from a serious injury. We're giving him game time. It's going to take him, and we discussed this the other day, it's going to take him, even our physios have said, next season before he's fully back to full potential Rodrigo Bentancur. So now we've got Basuma back, itching. I think when he came on against Brighton as well, I felt a little bit more comfortable as well with Basuma there. And a few in the comment section did as well. So this is my three. Saw has to start with Maddison and Basuma. Sean?
Yeah, I mean, I think they kind of speak for themselves. Yeah, it's not I can't see any other three being picked tomorrow. I think, as we've already alluded to, our concerns are what's going to happen in defence.
Yeah.
Whether we're going to play Saar and Basuma as a double pivot to try and avoid, to try and shore up our defence and stop us giving away the ball, I don't know. But those three for me. I mean, Basuma was by far, I thought, our most effective substitute. I know it was the other two that combined for the goal, yeah. But I thought Basuma was by far our most effective substitute last week. He gave us a certain more authority in that position. He really looked like he was up for the game, and I would be more than happy to see him, come 2 o'clock when the the team sheet's handed into the ref. So. But yeah, those three for me pick themselves. Obviously, you seem to have a problem with Maddison being on the left-hand side where he'll turn up most of the time. But yeah.
Sam.
Bentancur, he's 100% right. He may have come back. He's dipped a little bit. That's not due to his ability. That's just due to the fitness side of things. If you're out for that long, I don't care. You'll get a high. It's like a new manager bout sort of thing. You get that high, but then the reality of playing comes in. That's why we haven't seen the best of Maddison since he's come back. Basuma's got something to prove to me. You know, I was lauding him up and all the rest of it. I think he played within himself because of the AFCON. I also think he made some silly errors, getting himself red carded at times, and those are the things he's got to learn from. Every one of our midfielders benefits from having Sarr in the team. So Sarr is the key to that. I would say of even those three, and I'm including Maddison in this, he's probably the most key player to have. Because if you think about it, who replaces Sarr in a positive way? Skip doesn't do what Sarr does, can't get across the pitch in the same way, and definitely Højbjerg can't.
Yeah,
Bentancur's probably the only one, but he's not fit, so he has to play. You can play Højbjerg in a Basuma role. You can play Skip in that Basuma role. You can look at Lo Celso for Maddison. You can also look at Kulusevski for Maddison. Not the same level, I know, but you've got them. Sarr, we don't have another Sarr at the moment, and that's testament to him as a 20-year-old to be in this team now and saying he's probably, in my opinion, the first choice because he links up everything. He enables Maddison to play up top because he covers the ground. He enables Basuma to make mistakes because he can cover the ground. And that's what we've got to look at. Players like him, that's why we're going to need another one of that in the summer, in my opinion. So, yeah, that's the midfield three that I'll be starting. Or
does he do what he did last week against Brighton and start with Bentancur, Sarr and Maddison and then bring on Basuma to sew up the midfield defence and then give Bentancur... Is it... Right, question then for you guys.
I'll just quickly say, I think Basuma's unlikely to get you more goals. I think if you bring Bentancur on, he's more likely to give you something to get a goal. And what I mean, he'll either pop up and get a goal because we've seen that, or he'll probably get into an... Depending on where he plays. I think he's got more chance of being an impact coming on than Basuma has.
Yeah, because I was just about to say that to you both. Is it better to start Bentancur over Basuma to then bring on Basuma to sew up? Or is Bentancur more influential starting and then if it's not going well, you take him off, bring on Basuma? Or is it better to start Basuma and then if it's going good or if it's not going good, you bring on Bentancur? So my question is really, is Bentancur going to be more effective starting or coming off the bench? Sean?
I think from what I'm understanding in terms of Bentancur's recovery is that he may well be physically okay, but it's the instinctive stuff that he used to do, which takes longer to come back. And I think that's probably his problem at the moment. I think if he's going to play a role, I would have him on the bench to come on to maybe open up a very, very tight-knit defence. You know, maybe even a Wolverhampton Wanderers tight-knit defence. So, I don't see him starting the game tomorrow. Definitely not. I think it's Basuma is nailed on for that.
Yeah.
I personally don't think they would have started Bentancur too much had we not been thrown into that situation by AFCON Asian Cup. That's the reason, and the injuries. That's the reason I think Bentancur's played as much. I don't think Ange would have played him as he wants to see him play, but he wants to see the best of him. We ain't seen the best of him at the moment.
I agree. And Leslie's saying here as well, those three midfield were undroppable in the first 10 games. Basuma has to stop. I think, this is it. Right, now, going forward now, you know what? This is, my heart doesn't want it to be, but this is what I think, right? He's going to start with Kulusevski.
Your heart doesn't want it to be.
No, he's going to start with Kulusevski. Son on the left. And Richarlison in the middle, obviously. Son and Richarlison, I ain't got a problem with whatsoever. Kulusevski is my only issue at this precise moment. Personally, I would probably start with Johnson or even give Werner a try on the right. Because Kulu, for me, at this precise moment, it's just not clicking. But I think Angie's going to go with this. Thoughts? Go on, Sam. Sean, go on. I'll let you go first.
It's funny actually. I rewatched the game and I was paying particular attention to Kulusevski, and there's an awful lot of stuff that he did which went under the radar, and I think he's the anointed one as far as Ange is concerned because he suits his system. He suits the system as it stands at the moment. And I think you'd have to, we're judging Kulusevski by higher standards than we are to other players at times. I do wish he would take a few more shots. I do wish he would, like he used to do. I remember that goal he scored at Leeds in the last game of the season a couple of years back, where he just chopped it back on, and just did the keeper at the near post. I wish he'd try that a bit more often.
He's not doing that. That's
yeah. And I just wish he would hit, take a few shots. I think he's been put off by the fact that he's not scored. But unless you take unless you buy a ticket, you don't win the lottery, do you?
Oh, and no, you can just buy a ticket. You never win in the lottery, mate.
Yeah. So I do wish that he would take it upon himself every now and then to have a shot, because the deflection gives you a corner, maybe gives you I mean, his goal against Chelsea was a heavy deflection, wasn't it? So, I'm happy with that front three starting. I just feel that players need to, the fans need to appreciate Kulu for things that he does. He's a monster of possession. He is a monster of possession. It's very difficult to get the ball off of him. What he doesn't provide, obviously, is blistering pace to go down the line. But look at the cross. That pass for Sar's equaliser last week was absolutely chef's kiss. Man.
Yeah. Kulusevski has 12 goals and 17 assists in 70 PL games. That's the same goal contribution as Olise in 4 games less. So, yeah, I suppose you're right what you're saying. Now,
you can't argue with the stats. Well done, Leslie. Thank you very much.
Man, I was going to say, we got a stat man in the house.
I know, like Leslie Crawford.
Yeah, man.
Take a bow. Who are you?
You still got to use the eye test as well. And for me, Kulusevski hasn't been as good effectively going forward as he has been in previous seasons, or whatever we want to say. Yeah. However, as Sean has said, there's a lot more to his game, and I did the same thing. I watched the game and see what he does. The ball sticks with him. He's not so much an impact player as the other two are. So Timo Werner and Brennan Johnson, in my opinion, are more impact players. And again, it does depend on the situation in the game. If you've got space in behind, those two are more effective. If you haven't, you want tricky, you want quality to be able to get past them. Son and Kulusevski will offer that more so than Timo Werner and Brennan Johnson would, if you've got a low line, deep line block. The problem now we've also got is, I don't know how this game's going to go, because I can't tell you how we start. Are we going to be the ones to get the first goal? Is it going to be them? You can usually see with most teams, City, you always think they're going to score first most of the time. With Liverpool, the same sort of, you think they're going to score and they'll go on. If that was the case, then Kulusevski starting, Son starting, brilliant. But do we want to play a Brennan Johnson maybe to go for it and then get that first goal and then control the game? This is what's difficult for me to kind of predict how Spurs are going to approach this. For me, because of the facts and the stats that I've seen, it's going to be we're going to have to outscore them. And I think that's probably where we're going to be.
An interesting thing as well is, if he goes with this, the front three, we've got 2 of the fastest players come off the bench in Werner and Johnson. Yeah. So,
but they're no good if you've got a deep line block. Both of them are rubbish if you've got a deep line block. It makes no sense.
This is it. And as you said, is how Wolves and O'Neill's going to line them up tomorrow. Like you said, is he going to come to get the first goal, sit back, or is he going to allow us to have the possession, get the first goal, and then come at us? Because every manager now will know what we are, and they know that they'll get chances. It's whether teams can actually take the chances, because every team knows. I don't care if you're Tottenham, Liverpool's, Man City's, Everton's, Burnley, Sheffield United's, Luton Town's. They will all know that Spurs will give you opportunities. It's whether they take them opportunities, and then what does Spurs come back with? So that's what I think, and I think we agree. This is what we think will be the lineup for tomorrow, but you never know. Everything changes. So
I don't think the front three is going to be any different. I really can't see the midfield three being any different.
No.
And unless he does something drastic in terms of, because he's got 2 choices to make, I just don't want to see Porro and Udogie play.
No, I don't want to see 100%.
It's what he does at the back because of that, in my opinion.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So, People in the comment sections, please, let's have your prediction scores for the game tomorrow. And just before we get that, Leslie is saying here, I would be happy to take the pressure off Brennan Johnson by not starting him. Too many fans are abusing him online due to his slow start and big price tag. Do you know what? I think I mentioned it last week, didn't I? That he could potentially become a super sub for us because no team will want him to come on with 15, 20, 25, 30 minutes to go and Johnson's coming on. Because some of them teams will be knackered playing Spurs, and then to see Johnson coming off the bench, it'll be a wonderful. Remember David? Is it? What's his name? Johnston, that used to play for Liverpool in the 80s with his flowing lock hair. Yeah, you know, it could become us. You know, another Johnson super sub. So let's see.
A bit of an update, guys, from the press conference, according to Rob Guest of Football.London. Destiny is not available. Picked up a knock last week. Don't think it's too serious, which can mean a month. Pedro picked up a strain in training, probably a couple of weeks for him. With a game break, hopefully he don't miss too many. So
there you go. So
they are definitely not playing tomorrow. So he's got a choice. He's got he's going to have to make changes. So
yeah, and like I said before, they were practicing Emerson Royal Davis, Van der Ven and Romero doing the stuff yesterday in training. So
that's the safest bet. If we all think about it, that's the safest bet.
Yeah.
But is that a safe bet in terms of going on to win the game from the start?
I think so.
Remember, I think so too.
Yeah.
Provided they don't score first.
I don't know.
I'm saying that. I really do, because I don't think we've got enough.
I'm happy with that because
I'm happy with it. But
yeah.
Wolves are tricky. They look at their home record against us. Look at their record. Gary O'Neill, what he did in that last 3 minutes of that game,
last 3 minutes,
2 goals.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but we had a guy at the back then.
And they put 4 past Chelsea on at their place.
I know, but then, like you said before, Sam, as well, innit? It's hit and miss with them. You don't know what you're gonna get. That's the problem.
This is the big teams. This is what I'm saying.
I
can understand them failing against Brentford. I can understand them going to Luton and not building themselves up. But Gary O'Neill is a big time manager, and I'm saying this because he's early in his career, but he's got that mentality. I watched him on Sky Sports, and the things he's doing, he knows the game.
Yeah.
And if he knows that these 2 players are out, right? Okay, what are Spurs going to do? What would I logically think about doing? Well, I don't want to disrupt too many pieces of the puzzle, so I'm probably going to keep my back 2 in. I've already got 2 natural fullbacks that I'm going to put in, Ben Davis and Emerson Royal. They can go back and look at them 2 people and see what they're like, how they play in this system, because they know. And this is what I'm scared of. Have we got enough quality in them wide areas? Sorry, in them fullback areas, because they're not wide necessarily. Have we got enough quality to be able to also instigate attacks with? We've seen what Porro has done from an attacking point of view. We've also seen what Doggies has done. I'm just not sure we're going to get this out of Broad.
I've got another press conference update as well.
Go on.
This is less important, but Fraser Forster has fractured a bone in his foot and is out for 2 months.
How long did? Oh wow, okay, 2 months. So there you go, Austin all right, it's Austin, isn't it? Right. So Leslie Crawford is saying here, I will be surprised if the team that I've picked ain't the starting 11. Daryl Bradford, good afternoon. Neto is going to run right to Davis. Not good, guys.
That's my point,
I don't know, Audio Artisan is saying, what defensive options will we have on the bench with Dorrington also out? Cess. Yeah.
Dragerson. We've got Dragerson on the bench.
Yeah. Dirty Jack Sanchez. Werner can't go back to Leipzig after dissing them yesterday. I suppose we paid a 20 million to keep him. Apparently, they're already saying that the deal's done.
No, I'm going to have words. No.
Yeah, whatever. We'll talk about that later. Salary agent is now... Right, let's go to it. Salary agent is saying, come on, you Spurs. Like the sound of a 2-0. David D is saying 2-0. And I'm assuming both of them are saying Spurs. So, who wants to go first, lads? None of you two. Okay. I'll go first. I'm thinking we're not going to keep a clean sheet because we don't keep clean sheets. We don't believe in that. But we will outscore them. And I'm going for a 3-1 to Spurs.
I was going to say exactly the same score. 3-1. I've
then.
already put that. I'll put that in another WhatsApp group. 3-1. Scorers wise, I think Son will be on the score sheet. I think Richarlison will be on the score sheet. And Maddison, I think Maddison's probably due to pop up. I think we'll get them free scoring tomorrow. That's my prediction anyway. 3-1 Spurs.
I said 3-1. Leslie,
but a tough 3-1, not like we're up 3-0 and it's like Rosie.
No,
I think it's going to be a tough 3-0.
I think it'll be slightly easier than a 2-1 last week. I think it will slightly easier, not much easier, but it'll be an easier than a 2-1 last week. But we'll win 3-1. Leslie Crawford saying 2-1 to Tottenham as well. We can't keep clean sheets. A lot of people are saying the same. Mr. Hurley, the last man standing. What are you saying?
Well, some good news. De Cunha won't be playing for Wolves. So that's a threat that we won't have to face tomorrow. They're saying that the Korean guy, Kwan, is only 75% chance of playing. So he might not be playing. So
he's playing.
So we'll see. We'll see. It's I think we have to win. You know, I mean, let's there's no two ways about it. It's about points now. You know, and we can't keep a clean sheet, so we're going to concede at least one. But I think we've got an attacking threat that Wolves just don't have in Son and in Richarlison, and players that can score from other places as well. So I think 3-1. I'd go 3-1 as well.
3-1 as well. There you go. So all the Paxton PRTV Spurs people, 3-1, 3-1, 3-1. We've got a couple of 2-1s, a couple of 2-0s. So we're all saying Spurs are going to win this game. Some are saying comfortably. Some are saying it'll be not as easy as we think it is. So that's what I like to hear. Right, chaps. Thank you very much for joining us. Thank you, everyone, for all your comments. Thank you for your score predictions. Thank you to Mr. Statman as well for all the stats. Really appreciate it. We hope to see you come back as well with loads more stats because we love that. That was brilliant. Thank you very much. If you haven't already subscribed to PRTV Spurs, guys, please make sure you smash that like button if you already haven't, and come and follow us because we're here week in, week out, giving you all the previews, reaction shows, talking points. Myself, Sean, Pav will be there. Sam will be here. So listen, have a great Friday. Have a great weekend. Come 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. Get behind the team. Show your support. Come on, you Spurs. Let's get them 3 points. Have a great evening. See you later.
Develop,